Oh wait, we're not doing the song yet.
Not
Okay.
yet.
No, Shane, you got to tell your story.
It's not. I mean, it's not a great story. It's just. I just thought it was funny because of the
Please tell me
timing.
it's not in the back of the Walmart.
Not in the back of a Walmart.
Back of a Walmart.
Yeah, I haven't been on a date in a couple of weeks. No Walmarts. But I was just on Facebook dating.
What's Facebook dating?
Oh, there's a Facebook dating app. Yeah, it's fine.
There's a Facebook dating app. Dating by Facebook. Because I've watched The Social Network, and Mark Zuckerberg wasn't good at dating, so I don't really know what Facebook dating.
Well, he doesn't set you up. Thankfully, he's not involved in it at all.
Not like Love by Zuck.
No, that sounds awful. That would absolutely fucking frighten me if that's what
Love
it was.
by
called.
Zuck.
Yeah,
Zuck Love. I like Zuck Love better, to be honest with you.
There you go.
So, I don't look at the areas, but like Facebook's great because it's just like, look, anyone on the Eastern Seaboard is basically someone you should date.
It's like this is your fit. This is your fit. Like it's like
it's
this person's in fucking 2 states away from me.
Connecticut. I'm like, wait, what? Like, come on, dude. Manassas, Virginia. I'm like, I don't even know.
I get a ton from Manassas.
So I'm looking at this blonde and I'm like, oh, she's kind of hot. So let me scroll down to the area. And at first I say, oh, we have a mutual friend. It's Chase Vernon. I'm like, there's multiple reasons this isn't happening. That son in the fucking photo is probably his. Two, she's in Virginia.
Did you take a screenshot of this? Like who it is? I want to know now.
No.
On this app,
I immediately was like, X, bro. I
mean, you didn't even.
And it's not even. I got to be honest with you. It's not even the 8-hour drive. It's the going where Chase has probably been that I was like, nah, I'm good, cuz I am explicitly good.
Shane, you are way too white and way too old to say I'm good, cuz.
Like I don't want to be Chase's son's stepdad. Like that would just be awkward as shit. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm Uncle Shane. I got some crazy stories about your dad.
It's actually right outside of DC. I had a company up there. So like I'm wondering if she was one of my previous employees or something. Yeah, or maybe we did date because that's the only two things that I would have done up there with Facebook.
She was in Virginia.
Maybe she's part of fantasy football discussion.
Yeah, that wasn't it.
Maybe she's Facebook user.
Yeah, there's 100% chance.
You could have been just an 8-hour drive away.
100% chance
from Love by Zuck with Facebook user 83.
That Chase has been there and conquered that, and I was like, nope, I definitely don't want to date Chase's baby's mom.
Oh God! All right, you guys.
It's definitely going. You know what? Screw this. Give me my Toyota Corolla in the back of the Walmart. Let's go back to that.
This is Fantasy Intervention. Now here to intervene with your fantasy life, Shane Manila, Jacob Sanderson, and Chase Vernon.
What is?
When do I get my time in the sun? Just that.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into Fantasy Intervention. Thank you guys for joining the show tonight. We have a lot of stuff on this docket. Our show sheet is actually massive today, so I'm not going to spend too much time, kicking around the what's up, how you guys doing type things. But yeah, I'm joined by my co-host Shane is the worst over there on Twitter at Shane is the worst. Jacob Sanderson, of course, at FF_RTDB and at FantasyJ77. Excited to have you guys in. Excited to get the show kicked off, and not so excited to talk about how well or how poorly we actually did for this past week on our recap game. For those who don't know, we actually pick 4 players apiece outside of the top 20 at their position: 1 quarterback, 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, and 1 tight end. And we predict them to finish inside the top 10. this week wasn't great. But Jay did end up killing us this week. He ended up with 4 points at the end of the day. He picked Carson Wentz. He picked Evan Ingram, which I don't think any one of us
are picking Carson Wentz and Evan Ingram. What is this?
He did it. He did it.
But who did it?
Jay did that.
Jay, I picked Carson. I picked Evan Ingram.
No, not the fake.
You did not. You picked Dawson Knox, who didn't play.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Outside of that, I believe I had. I don't even know. I don't think I had actually 2 points. I see 2 points. Oh no, it was Chris Olave that got me the 2 points.
There you go.
And then, outside of that, it was brutal. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that happened this past week. Is this going to be a sign of things to come? Is it going to be something where, like, hey, we need to make sure that we're on this or off this? And let's start out with Jerry Judy, because the Broncos defense or the Broncos offense has been non-existent so far. It's been absolutely brutal. Jerry Judy goes out there, puts up 8.3 fantasy points.
I'll be on 70 expected fantasy points, by the way. I wasn't tilting at all. Jesus. I mean, this Judy game, as I just barge in and just bull ride all over your segment.
Yes.
My God. I mean, so I picked Judy last week, so I was particularly tilted. And man, did he have opportunities. Like, Russ hits him, like, he's open in the end zone. Russ, like, makes a pretty shitty throw. And then Judy goes up and he, like, kind of half-asses it, doesn't catch it. Kind of a bad throw, kind of a bad effort. Then later, he's, like, streaking across the field, wide open. And Russ, like, overthrows him by, like, 12 yards up the field and also 3 yards, like, up, like, and back. I was like, this is the worst throw ever. So, like, that wastes 4 yards. And then later, he, like, roasted dude on this sluggo route. He's wide open, skating into the end zone, and Russ overthrows him by like 3 yards. Judy should have just dove for it anyway. I don't know what he was doing, loser. Anyway, point is, through very much fault of his own and probably even more fault of Russ, his 25-point breakout is a useless 8 points. Asshole, Jerry Judy.
Okay, so we know how Jacob feels. Is this Broncos offense something that we want to avoid the rest of the season? I mean, Melvin Gordon gets you some points here and there. Cortland Sutton, But, I mean, are we trying to avoid this offense entirely, or is this something where, like, hey, there might actually be some value here if Russell Wilson can get his shit together and get on the same page as this offensive coordinator?
Get together, absolutely.
Yeah, we're saying he needs to get on the same page as the offensive coordinator. Like, so it's Russ's fault?
No, it's definitely Russ's fault.
Very much Russ's fault.
Yeah, I'm actually in on Sutton in redraft. I like him fine. He's the someone put it up earlier. He's the alpha over there, right? He's dominating the targets. I thought it would be Judy. I was incorrect. It's been Sutton, and even if he's not especially efficient with those targets, because I have to throw a dig at him anyway, he's still, the top, I think 20 wide receiver. What's he, 15.4 points per game, something like that. Top 15 or so. So, yeah, I'm in on Sutton fine. And look, he might be an opportunity to buy in because everyone's like, oh, that offense is shit and I don't want anything to do with it. And then people don't actually look up the fantasy scoring and realize that Sutton's actually having a very nice year.
Yeah, in a PPR league, I mean, he's getting the volume very much like Godwin is in Tampa. I mean, you're getting, that 11, 10, 11, 12, targets, if not catches every week. So, I mean, what is he getting, like 22 points after, 12 targets, 11 catches, 83 yards, no touchdowns, still getting you 20 points. So, I mean, yeah, definitely.
All right, so we have some bye weeks coming up. Let's just go ahead and break into the news. By the way, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. Let us know what your questions are. Big shout out to Fantasy Football Discussion. If you guys want to watch us on YouTube, hit up youtube.com/fantasy intervention. Once again, that's youtube.com/fantasy intervention. If you're watching on Facebook, by the way, give us a thumbs up, send us some love, bring your comments in. Like I said, it also allows some of these other people to see our show live.
Yeah, and Shane might date you.
Shane might date you, Facebook user.
As long as you have an already dated face.
Hey, Facebook user, how you doing?
Shout out to Toronto Dave, by the way. He said this got to be rock bottom, aka bottom. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into some of these bye weeks. And I want to talk about some of these players that we should grab prior to this week going through so that we don't have to grab these players on waivers. So we have Detroit, Houston, Las Vegas, and Tennessee, right? Jameson Williams is somebody that I think is intriguing in terms of picking up prior to this bye week. We think he might be coming up or coming back here relatively soon. Hunter Renfrow could have gotten dropped. Obviously, he hasn't really done much this year. Is he worth picking up? Darren Waller, if we see Darren Waller dropped, are we making a shot to pick him up? Trey Lon Burks, should you go ahead and pick him up ahead of the waivers? Are any of these guys somebody that interests you in terms of, hey, you should get ahead of the curve. You should not waste your waiver wire money on him. Just go get him on your roster first. We'll start out with you, Shane.
Let's end with me.
Okay, let's end with you, Shane. Jacob, go ahead.
I heard Renfrow, I heard Waller, and I might have missed the others, but
Jameson Williams, Trey Lon Burks, just anybody. Yeah, between Las Vegas, Tennessee, Houston, Detroit. Is there anybody?
Yeah, Waller for sure, because it's tight end, and I know that he hasn't had a good start, but it's still tight end. Like, I believe the Fantasy Pros tight end 8 this week is Taysom Hill right now. So that says all it needs to say about the tight end position. So certainly if someone drops Darren Waller, you scoop him up. The other wide receivers, like, I don't know, I think it depends on what your scoring settings are. Like, if you're starting 5 wide receivers, like as in 2 and like 3 flex something, then, you know, a guy like Renfrow has a lot of value. In like your standard work league where it's like 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, half PPR, like, are you ever starting on a Renfrow? Hope not. I'd probably rather invest that bench spot in like a backup running back and just hope that the starter gets hurt. So kind of depends. I think Detroit, it's really just Swift and Amon-Ra that you need, and Jamal on the bench stash. Jameson Williams is interesting. It's like I said, deeper league, interesting stash. But I don't know. Is he, even if he's good, is he going to be so good as a rookie that we're going to want to pick him up and start him soon and like start 3 wide receivers? I don't know.
Also, snap count is something we got to think about too. If they want to work him back into it, because he did tear his ACL, I think in December, if I'm correct. You know, like they might want to try to work him back. So, Fantasy J, like Trey Lon Burks, does anybody interest you in terms of trying to pick up some of these guys that might end up getting dropped because they have a bye week or haven't been rostered yet because they haven't played?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in JMO, but you know, going off, you know, kind of what we were just talking about a second ago. That Detroit offense has a ton of weapons. Other side of that is that Detroit defense absolutely is horrible. So they give up a lot of points. They score a lot of points. So I'm interested in JMO in deeper leagues. Hunter Renfrow, we saw what he did, you know, just the other night. I mean, he is a target hog. I don't care how many yards he gets. He's getting targets. He may only get 4 yards every target, but he gets 10 of them in a game, not getting in the end zone. But he's still getting 10 targets in a game or whatever it is. If Darren Waller gets dropped, I'm absolutely picking him up. We you know, any tight end. I mean, right now we thought he was a top 5 tight end, maybe top 4 tight end to start the season. He's had a shitty start to the year. So have all the Raiders, to be quite honest. They've all had shitty starts. Don't look at me like that, Shane. It can't get much. Trey Lon Burks, I mean, it's Tennessee. I don't know. And he's a rookie too, so we'll see. He doesn't have a ton of competition other than Robert Woods, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Shane, what you got?
I don't know what's wrong with these two. I absolutely want no goddamn parts of Darren Waller. That dude looks washed as I don't even know, something that's washed. That dude
wasn't any good last year.
Yeah, and he was trash cans last year. Look, if it was just the first 5 games this year that he was garbage, I'd be like, oh, you know, he was still good last year. He wasn't good last year. I'd rather just take a shot on. He wasn't. He
wasn't as good as he had been, but he was still really good for a tight end. He just got hurt.
It wasn't a needle mover. He was a 12-point-a-game guy. Whatever.
That's tight end. Shouldn't be on waivers.
I'd rather go get Njoku. I'd rather play Njoku.
Okay, but Njoku's not on the waiver wire.
Well, I'm just saying. How do you know?
I know that Njoku is not on the waiver wire. He's like the top 5 tight end right now.
But I'd be fine picking up Trey Lon Burks. I just don't know how long he's going to be out with that turf toe since they put him on the IR a week after the fact, right?
Yeah, well,
that's a little concerning. They waited a week and then went, yeah, this is getting much worse. We need to put you on the IR. So that scares me a little bit. If I had to, Renfro's fine. I'd pick up Renfro and just see what happens.
Yeah, thank you, Akash. The only person here, sanity. Waller was good last year. He had a 24% target share. Thank you. Tell Shane where he can stick it.
Yeah, I don't care.
He also wants to see the back of my jersey.
Hey, Akash. How's it going, Akash? Sanderson. His target share is good. His points sucked, and he sucks this year, and he's target squeezed. So
we gotta have Akash on the show.
Yeah, your target squeezed.
Oh yeah.
Akash, we gotta get you on the show at some point, man.
Invite him on now.
You want to come on now? We can bring you.
Literally come on right now.
Can somebody send him the link?
I don't have the link.
You just got to copy and paste it of StreamYard.
I don't know how that works.
I'll do it because unlike Shane, I'm not 75 years old.
The only thing Shane knows how to copy and paste is that Corolla in the back of the parking lot at Walmart.
I can't. All right, so these concussion protocols that have come out with the NFL, how they updated it, is it concerning for players that have concussions that maybe you don't hold on to a guy for an extra week or two if they are just like a flex option type guy, like you'd much rather go out and get a player who could actually play next week? Or are you guys just treating it the same way you always have with concussions?
I think you have to treat it the exact same way. I mean, but hopefully the teams are going to do a little bit more and hold them out. So, you get a concussion on a Sunday, they're probably not going to play the next Sunday. For instance, Chris Olave. He's probably not going to play this next Sunday. And that's probably the smart move for the player. It doesn't help us as fantasy owners, but it's probably the smart move for the player. So I hope they do it.
Is this a position where you should add an extra like IR spot just to try and help fantasy?
Oh Jesus! So we're gonna have to do the freaking COVID conversation again, where it's like, oh everybody, commissioner, we need 3/4 majority, add IR spot. Oh my geez, I can't go back to that.
Was that John F. Kennedy talking about COVID?
Do you remember oh my gosh! Do you remember? Do you remember the backup era when everybody had to put their backup players in the chat the day before in case their game got canceled due to COVID? That was the darkest timeline.
I never want to talk about that again.
What? The darkest timeline. As if we're in the metaverse.
That was like the worst. Every week you had to be like, all right, so if the Jets get canceled, I'm starting this player, and if this
yeah, it was awful.
It is.
No. He's in with us. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
I'm sending Akash the link now. Hold on.
All right, so let's go ahead.
Did we actually get your name right this time, by the way? Akash is the correct pronunciation, right? Is that right?
Somehow, some way, yes, he did.
I'm sober. I'm sober as shit. What's up, bro?
With golf on the back of that shirt.
Oh, my God. All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about Matt Rule out in Carolina. Does this actually move the needle at all for fantasy purposes? Or is this just something where it's like, hey, they're going to run the same offense. There's not going to be much that changes. Are we going to see any kind of change in the way things operate down there in Carolina? Maybe Sam Darnold to get some starts in there. Shane, I think you're the best position to talk about Sam Darnold. Let's go.
Sam Darnold's awful.
He's our Sam Darnold correspondent.
Yeah, I'm Sam Darnold correspondent. But no, the offense isn't going to be good. Steve Wilkes has been a head coach in the previous history of time.
Yes, and he ruined David Johnson.
His offense was awful. I can't imagine that he's going to somehow turn this offense around. Matter of fact, no, he won't. And I don't even think they want to at this point. I think they just want to bottom out, be done with Baker, be done with Sam Darnold, just cancel Matt Corral's health insurance so that he can't get his knee fixed and just goes away. Like, I think this is just clear the next year, and they start over next year.
Wait, is this the same? This is the coach that filed the lawsuit against the NFL for.
No, but that's a little racist now that you're just getting black.
Jesus Christ.
Who was that?
Brian Flores.
Brian Flores.
No.
Brian Flores.
Steve Wilkes did too.
Nope, definitely.
Oh, he might have. I don't know if he signed on. That's possible.
Oh, maybe
he did. I'm 90 for the 1 year that he spent in Arizona.
Okay, I'm not going to say that that's not possible.
And he had Josh Rosen, I think it's the quarterback.
He did have Josh Rosen.
I would sue the NFL for that too. And
that was Wilkes, right? Wilkes.
He did.
Wilkes
he did
hopped
join
on.
it.
He definitely. Yes.
Okay.
He did, and Ray Horton did as well. So we're sorry for doubting you for once you were.
But not Tim Hortons.
Not Tim Hortons.
Hey, Akash, what's your take on Carolina? What do we do with DJ Moore, man? What do we do with CMC? Like, does this help anybody out, or are we just
some copium?
Yeah, give us some insight. What do you have?
It doesn't really help them, but it really can't get any worse. So they're still good football players, so I'm still buying them. But no, it can't get worse than it's been right now. So, but I don't expect it to get much better once you start throwing out PJ Walker as your starting quarterback. I don't know.
How many leagues
At
are you
least
starting
the good
PJ Walker in this week?
more than 0, I think.
Yeah. I played a lot of leagues, and I roster a lot of Derek Carr as my QB too in a lot of Superflex leagues. So PJ's walking into the Superflex position more than I'd like him to be.
I have in a Dynasty Best Ball League that he's going to be starting in. I've had him forever. I just forgot that it existed. And so I went onto my Dynasty
He's
Best
going to
Ball
get
League,
less
like,
points than someone, like your wide receiver 6 is going to score like 2 touchdowns, De'Ami Brown style, and going to work his way into your Superflex spot.
I love that take.
Yeah.
All right.
The decision I have in so many leagues is like, who do I start in Superflex? Romeo Doubs or PJ Walker?
Oh my God. I miss Sam Darnold because as bad as he was, at least he knew throw half the time you throw to DJ Moore and CMC, and then half the time you get to throw to someone else. Maybe it should be above half the time with the way that Smith and Hollywood Higgins have been playing, but I digress.
So no Laviska Shenault this week.
I don't know. I think he hurt both of his hamstrings on his one run to glory.
Haskell Laviska.
So
we'll always have the Haskell Laviska call.
Obviously, like the Carolina Panthers had some bad beats, right? And Jacob, I don't know if I sent you my bad beats from this past week where like I had one injured player on every single one of my. That was so bad. So I use Underdog Fantasy, right? Like you guys can go check them out. Download the app. It's Underdog Fantasy, and you can place these prop bets, and you can pretty much bet on anything that you can imagine with these players outside of like sock color, essentially. But like you can bet on their fantasy points, you can bet on their receiving yards, their receptions, their rushing, whatever you can think of. And I've been hot lately. I've been nailing it left and right. But my past five bets that I put in have had Javonte Williams in 2 of them, Chris Olave in 1. We had. Oh God, who was the other guy? I had literally one player in every single one of them.
Picking players who don't get hurt,
dude. That's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to do it because I'm picking everything else right. But no, if you guys actually check out, my Twitter over there at FF_intervention, I give you advice on what my plays are. I was on with Step Bump Lauren on Friday on her show, talking about the DFS bets. Geno Smith over on rushing yards for the 8.5. And honestly, like Underdog is underselling how easy it is to win money over there because the multipliers are insane. Like you put in $20, you end up winning 400 if you nail 5 picks. Like that's all you have to nail is 5 picks. And they have insurance. So if you don't feel safe about one of the picks, you can turn on the insurance. You still end up winning 200 if you nail everyone. If you don't, you end up still winning $50. So it's still 2.5 times your money. If you miss one, if you miss a pick, you still win money. Go check it out over Underdog Fantasy. Download the app, use promo code CIRCLE, and they'll match whatever deposit you put down up to $100. So you put down $100, you get $200 of play money, right? That you can throw on these bets. And go check me out over there on Twitter. I'll tell you which plays to make. You can go ahead and DM me, ask me what plays to make, and I'll go ahead and answer your questions for you. Just use promo code CIRCLE when you do it, so that way they match your deposit bonus. All right, so we do have a question. I'm going to go to Akash on this one. Leaning instead of Pollard, based on the matchup, do you agree? Because he has Jacobs on bye, Damien Pierce is on bye. So would you play Boone over Pollard this week?
No, I would not. I don't know what that backfield looks like with Latavius Murray possibly being active. It's probably going to be a mess. I would start Pollard. I am going to go in a little bit, but I have a funny story if you guys want to hear it. This weekend was my first time ever betting. I was talking with one of my friends, and we were just talking, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do a parlay on Underdog. And so me and her like go through, we make our picks, put $3 on it just because, we're not big gamblers. So
hey, you're in college, man. Like you're allowed to do it,
Exactly. So, but all of them hit. And so first time gambling, turned $3 into 60. So I'm up 1,900% ROI. And I'm going to quit while I'm ahead.
Now you got lunch money for school every day for at least the next week.
Well, what you want to do with that, Akash, is just make sure you keep gambling. That's how you make more money. You just keep gambling it.
I mean, if you extrapolate, I think
ABG gambling.
Yeah,
that's right. If I extrapolate my winnings so far, I think I can become a millionaire by at least November.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Use
thinking.
promo code CIRCLE when you go sign up.
Make sure you're following Chase. That way you know what not to gamble on because that player is getting injured.
No,
Mhm.
what?
It's
It's
true.
5
You're
players.
the injury kiss of death.
You are the
I still won 50 on all my bets because I used insurance, right? So
Can
I
you
still
put
actually
like a
won money.
bunch of can you put a bunch of money on all the starting running backs? I have some 0 RB teams that desperately need some usable weeks.
That's true. I want that. Yeah. Could you put a lot of money on Fournette? I really like Rashaad White.
Yes.
And then
That's the
here's the
perfect
funny
one.
thing about Underdog in Canada, right? Because we have universal health insurance, so you don't even have to pay additional for insurance. If a player gets injured in a game, but you're in Canada, the government just pays for it. So Justin Trudeau just covers your Underdog bets if Naeem Hines has a concussion.
Nice. Then I
It's
should
part of our
remember.
healthcare program.
Shane's calling him as soon as we get off of here.
Mhm.
Shane would be
All
a
right.
great Canadian. I'm just kidding. He's way too mean.
So Jay, I'm going to you on this one. Is Allen Robinson a buy low candidate? Someone offered me Allen Robinson for Hunter Renfrow. I have Hunter Renfrow.
No, he's
No.
it's time. Allen Robinson needs to be
Okay.
waived.
Giovanni,
Universally.
I know you've asked these questions, great questions before. This is not a great question.
Normally his teams are the ones that are so loaded. Like we're like, dude, like how do you have this lineup? Like what are you
Well,
talking
he
about?
very well may have a really good lineup. I mean, he doesn't have Allen Robinson, so that's a good start, right? He doesn't currently have Allen Robinson, so
He's
that's
got
good.
Hunter Renfrow though, and you're not trading Hunter Renfrow for Allen Robinson. That's
No.
no.
Here's what you should trade Allen Robinson for in every single league right now: a
third.
roster spot.
Yep.
Right. You just hit that drop button. Not in Dynasty, it's fine. You can hold him in Dynasty, but in honestly though, we're getting like a couple more weeks. I'm probably just gonna drop him in Dynasty.
Yeah. He's
but
the new
okay.
Devontae Parker where he'll have
Real talk though, one of my leagues, I saw someone trade Rondale Moore for Allen Robinson, and I wouldn't do that. But point is, if you have Allen Robinson, you might actually still be able to get something somewhat interesting for him. There might still be some diamond handers out there.
Well,
All right.
I heard a crazy stat today. Allen Robinson and Cooper Kupp have the exact same amount of red zone targets.
Right, but those are all of Allen Robinson's targets, whereas that's like 5% of Cooper Kupp's targets.
All right, Shane. As a Taylor owner, is it worth picking up Deion Jackson?
Sure.
I don't care if you have Jonathan Taylor on your roster or not. Just pick up Deion Jackson. What is this handcuffing? I don't believe in handcuffing. That's against my religion. But if
Yes,
Deion
sir.
Jackson's happened to be sitting out there, I'll just pick him up because he's probably the best available running back on the waiver wire. That's the only reason you need, not because of some superfluous reason like I have the starter on the team. So
Toronto
yes.
Dave, it's Colin Johnson with 2 L's. Get it right. All
Johnson.
right.
Well, how did that name come about again?
We got
Who
it.
knows? Who knows? All right. Full PPR, 1 quarterback league. Am I crazy for wanting to go Justin Fields over Russell Wilson and Trevor Lawrence for this week?
No. Okay.
Fields is on waivers. He has Washington, is who he's playing on Thursday night. And I'm going to say no, that game is going to be slow and ugly. I would definitely not play Justin Fields this week.
If you
I don't
watch
care.
that
the matchup.
game, you call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm watching that game.
I'm watching that game.
Wow.
Call
Watching that
1-800-GAMBLER.
game.
I'm watching that game too, Jacob. Come on.
And I'll add it. It's in I saved it to contacts. Yeah.
It's
I'm
football,
probably taking
man.
all
I
the
don't care.
unders.
I got 1-800-GAMBLER on speed dial now.
Chase is gonna be sitting there with like ordering a pizza, a couple of beers, just betting on unders, just rooting against players. Just like, yeah, another sack.
I feel like Josh Larky and I will both be doing that to an extent.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's hop on to a couple more quick questions, and then Akash, I know you got to get out of here. Do you got to get
Yeah,
out of
I'm
here
gonna-
right now, or
I'm a dip right now. I gotta study. I got my midterm tomorrow. So
all right, man? Good luck on your midterm.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for jumping on, brother.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Thanks for having me, guys. See you.
All right, so Fryermuth, Olave, Damien Harris, Pitts, Penny. Is there any one of these injuries that have happened over the past week or so that are really significant that would make you go either pick up backups or drop one of these players? Obviously, Penny, you're dropping. But like Fryermuth hasn't done much this year. Are you dropping him because he hasn't been targeting tight ends? He's just been targeting pretty much Pickens. Olave, like, are you dropping him? Or are you going to see how it pans out? Damien Harris, like Ramondo Stevenson looked great in relief of Damien Harris. So are you dropping Damien Harris? Like, are you guys holding on to all these guys?
I'm holding on to the ones that are going to play if you can. I mean, Harris, like whatever. It really depends on your team for me with Harris. Like if you kind of have like a hero RB or a zero RB or something, then he probably has some value. But if Harris is like your RB4, it's like, what are we really accomplishing here with Damien Harris at that point? So I think if you need the roster spot, you can free it up. It sounds like it's going to miss multiple weeks. So I take that as meaning probably 3 or 4 weeks, at minimum 2. So yeah, I mean, Penny, obviously you're dropping. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, injured guys, I don't know. You want to hold them, but it depends on your number of bench spots and stuff. So it's hard.
Yeah, I'm in a couple leagues where it's pretty, no, just one really, or 2 that are really thin benches. So like I might drop if Algie's still out there, Aguilar, I might pick him up instead of holding on to Damien Harris. But unless it's someone like that, like I'm not going to go out of my way, like Deion Jackson, we were just talking about him. I probably aren't going to go out there and run to pick up Deion Jackson. I might pick up nope, that's it. Nope.
Eno Benjamin, if he made it past waivers.
Well, here's the thing. Am I going to start Eno this week? So this is what I'm looking at, right? Is it anyone that I would throw into my starting lineup this week or next, if I'm going to pick them up? Because, I don't know how long Harris is going to be out. I'm assuming at least a week, maybe 2 weeks, but he could be back in 3. So is there anyone on the waiver wire that I could see putting in my starting lineup between now and then? I'll pick him up. Otherwise, no, there's no reason to pick dude up and then just stash him on my bench and see what happens.
All right. And then the last thing we're going to talk about, we're going to answer some more questions after this, is are we going Kenneth Walker or DJ Dallas? Because Kenneth Walker had the breakaway run. He ran the routes. He looks good. Is Kenneth Walker like a breakaway or a in redraft, keep in mind, is Kenneth Walker somebody that you should go out and acquire at this point, or would you rather take the cheaper option with DJ Dallas?
First of all, Kenneth Walker, as was established on Twitter yesterday, because everybody was having fun with it, is not available in most leagues.
So stupid.
I was loving those tweets. It was like, if Kenneth Walker's available in your waiver wire, like go pick him up, and then there was just a bunch of shit about that. But he was
available in like 75% of Yahoo leagues or something.
I drafted him in my ESPN Start 7 league. So, but that's also because, well, I'm a dynasty guy, so I was just taking young running backs. Yes, you should have, and it's Wednesday, so your waiver should have already ran. You should have blown your entire load all over Kenneth Walker, without a doubt. DJ Dallas is what you go back to after you didn't have enough to get Ken Walker and go, all right. I guess I'll get DJ Dallas off the waiver for nothing.
Yeah, we used to have these 2 breakfast restaurants on a street in Winnipeg, and one was called Stella's, and the other one was called the Poppy. And everybody loved to go to Stella's. There's always like an hour-long wait. And so you'd show up, and you'd be like, oh, man, I'm so pumped to go to Stella's today. They have their homemade jam, so delicious, all this fun stuff. And then it's like, they'd be like, it's an hour and a half wait. Like, I'll go to the Poppy. And then you go in, you get right in. And then you have, you have your eggs and your toast, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about, Jacob. Like,
that's DJ Dallas. He's the guy where there's no wait. You're going to be able to get your eggs, but you're not real. What are we doing here with DJ Dallas?
Dude, I know exactly what you're saying, because we have this place right across the street from each other. It's Baja, and then it's Doc Taylor's. Doc Taylor's normally has a 4-hour wait, which normally you just get drunk and you hang out in the side room and everybody's cool because it's a giant party. But if you have to go on a hold to get into the side room, you're not going. You're just going across the street. So not only are you willing to wait 4 hours to get breakfast, but you're just willing to be at that spot. I know exactly what you're talking about. Point on. I love that analogy. All right, I'm going to Jay on this one. Who would you rather have picked up this week, Ramondo Stevenson or Kenneth Walker?
Well, that's
picked up. Ramondo Stevenson was on waivers. Oh crap! Now I'm the people on Twitter.
60% of Yahoo leagues.
If either one of them are on waivers, you pick them both up. I mean,
yeah. Well, I wouldn't bid anything on Ken Walker.
Stop.
Walker the third. Yeah. No, I mean, I would still want Ken Walker, but I can see the argument for Ramondre with that backfield there in New England. But I want Ken Walker because I think he should have been RB1 coming into the season in Seattle, in my opinion. For whatever reason, Penny took the reins, did a great job, but we all knew he was going to get injured. And if you got Penny, you should have got Walker already. So yeah, I'm going Walker right there.
I think it kind of depends on what your goals are. Like I like, for as long as Harris is out, I prefer Stevenson just because he really plays in all phases of the game. He's going to catch more passes than Kenneth Walker, most likely. But I mean, he's a rookie, so you never know for sure. But
did you see him catch passes at the combine?
Oh man, he caught so many passes on air and shorts. It was incredible. So anyway, I like Stevenson a lot more this week, and Stevenson's schedule these next few weeks. Like he gets the Jets twice, he gets Cleveland. So if Harris out a month or so, I like Stevenson more for the next month. But if you're a team that's like 5-0 and you're more looking at who do I want in the playoffs, then I'd probably rather have Walker, because when Harris comes back, Stevenson's still a starter. Like I've had no problem starting him the last month, but he's probably coming in more like a back end to mid range RB2, whereas Walker has the higher upside the rest of the season.
All right, Shane, should I trade Dameon Pierce for Pittman and Hopkins? He's struggling with receivers. He or she is struggling with receivers. Other running backs are Barkley, Mixon, and A.J. Dillon. So he seems like he's pretty set. But Dameon Pierce, man, he's the hot commodity right now. Is he worth Pittman and Hopkins at this point?
No, I want more.
That's what Facebook users.
More? You want more than that?
Pittman and Hopkins. Yeah, I'm not breaking Damien up into two wide receivers, one that's a wide receiver 4 and the other that's been playing like a wide receiver 3. No, I'm trading a running back 1. This is not dynasty, I'm assuming. This is redraft, since we're on fantasy intervention and not dynasty intervention, because it ain't the summer. So I want a stud wide receiver. You give me a stud wide receiver back. How about this? I'll add to Dameon Pierce and you give me a better wide receiver. You give me T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. I'm doing that. I'm not taking this watered down milquetoast Pittman and Hopkins. Get out of here.
Wait, why do people hate Pittman now?
Pittman's
people
a
people were freaking like. I was going to say something inappropriate. People were really excited about Michael Pittman a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden, what? Now he's milquetoast.
Shane says inappropriate stuff on a regular basis.
Yeah, but I think my roommate's home, and I don't know if I need to. I was more worried about that than my audience. My audience of degenerates on Facebook can hear whatever they need to hear. But I don't know. I think I would take this deal. That being said, I do like what Shane said. I always prefer to trade up, especially we're talking like most redraft leagues. Unless you specify, I'm generally assuming your redraft league is, shallower than a puddle in the spring. So you're looking at, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, maybe 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, something like that. And so I would say take Pierce, take a Pittman, and go get somebody, way up.
Shallower than a puddle in the spring.
What are you pointing at, Jay?
I'm pointing at Shane.
Well, he's trying to, but he's pointing.
Right, but you're pointing.
You mean to do that? Yeah, wrong way. You're. Yep.
Oh, there it is. Oh, look at that.
Around, so I need to go over there.
Yeah.
So, shallower than a puddle in spring.
I don't know. It kind of came out. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but.
But it rains in spring.
Right, exactly.
I know. That's why.
Well, but there are no puddles in the summer.
Well, in Canada, those rings are those are
in the winter. In the winter, we have potholes.
Spring.
Do you guys have potholes in America?
Yeah, they have a lot down where Gator stays. I'll tell you that. I think that's probably the most prevalent. All right, CMC getting traded. Now there's a change in coach regime. Honestly, I don't think that's our area of expertise.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Is CMC getting traded?
Shane is our Carolina correspondent. He doesn't have info.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Judy,
He's our trade agent correspondent. He has all the inside information in terms of what's happening in the NFL. So Shane,
essential trade alert.
I checked Twitter, and Twitter told me that teams are calling about Christian McCaffrey
and DJ
Moore. But look, the Panthers know they're a bottom of the barrel roster. If they can get out of McCaffrey, I guarantee you they would. But it's the return they're going to get. Are they really going to be happy with a 4th round draft pick? Most likely not.
All right, thoughts on Waddle? This is a good question. Thoughts on Waddle with the QB situation?
Don't start him. Look, that one play that he played with Teddy last week really, really scared me. And then Skylar Thompson looks like an absolute just trash can. He's so
bad. He's like Carson Wentz.
He is not good, and he didn't even look Waddle's way. I don't even know if he knows who Jalen Waddle is. If I'm Jalen Waddle, I walk up to him at the practice facility this week and go, "Hey, I'm Jalen Waddle. You can throw me the football as well." I'm not starting him with Skylar Thompson back there.
All right, let's go ahead. I do see that we have questions in the chat. Jeb, your question is going to be up next, followed by a bunch of guys from Fantasy Football Discussion. But we do need to get on our final segment where we pick players outside of the top 15 for tight end and quarterback, and then outside the top 20 for running back and wide receiver, who all have a chance to finish inside the top 10. We then take our scores and talk shit about how each other suck ass the following week.
All right, I'm ready.
Shane, I'm never putting you first again on a single one because you're literally reading my notes. Let's go ahead and start with you, Jay, since you put the show sheet together. Who do you have first?
I took Trevor Lawrence, being at 18, going up against Indy. A couple weeks ago, he went out there and did what Jacksonville does to Indianapolis every year, and beat him down. Now, the last couple of weeks, he's had a couple interceptions, which is, that's really hurt, his fantasy value. It's really hurt, the Jacksonville Jaguars in general. No duh there. But, he started out 6 touchdowns, 1 interceptions in the first 3 games. In the last 2, he's gone 2 touchdowns, interception. I think it's time. The times are changing back. He was 83% completion rate against the Indianapolis Colts in week 2. Good enough for quarterback 12 in that week. I think he's coming back for that.
Jacob, you seemed like you got triggered right when Jay said beat down. You literally did this thing with your neck where you twitched as soon as he said the Jaguars beat down the Indianapolis Colts. It was
took that the wrong way. It wasn't like they beat him down, but he 82.
No.
There was a beat down. It's fair. That's a fair statement. We got beat down. This week we're gonna beat up
out of the playoffs. So, all right, Jacob.
I remember. I'm taking James Winston. I think he's finally gonna play this week. If he doesn't, it doesn't matter. Whoever else I would pick sucks anyway, so I don't really have anything to lose. He practiced today. Michael Thomas did not, but Adam Schefter said that he would play week 6, and I decided to trust that against that better judgment. And in that case, he's going to be playing against a Cincinnati team that, in theory, scores points. They haven't actually done that this year, but theoretically, they can put up points on you. Saints defense, people thought would be good this year. That seems to not be the case. So I think that they're going to be in trail script against a hypothetically good offense, and hopefully Jameis can start slinging around a little bit when he's healthier. So I'll take famous Jameis.
Famous Jameis going to play the footballs.
All right, I'm taking
no,
Stafford.
It's my turn.
No, you better not take Stafford. It's literally on the show sheet, Shane.
Well, I can't be expected to read, okay?
It was there.
Shane, you know how to read. All right, Stafford up against Carolina. Stafford just eclipsed 300 yards for the first time versus Dallas. Stafford's been sacked a whole lot. He has games of 7 sacks, and 5 sacks.
Loves a sack.
It's so crazy.
The Rams' offensive line
horrible.
Is horrible. Red Rover, we called Micah Parsons over. It's just not doing anything.
Wait, you know what's great, though? You know what's great is the fact that Carolina is tied for 30th in sacks in the NFL. They haven't gotten anybody to the ground at all, and they played some pretty shitty quarterbacks. So Stafford should have all day to throw. I was thinking about picking Jimmy G because the team, with San Francisco, they're not going to be facing any kind of rush on the quarterback. But I'm like, dude, Jimmy G sucks even worse when he's actually has a clean pocket.
He might drop back 12 times, right? Atlanta and the 49ers, you get them together, and there might be 10 pass attempts in the game combined.
Yeah, I'm going Matt Stafford in this one. This is a lock for me. I'm 90% sure that Stafford ends up in the top 10.
I think that 30th overall in sack, that Carolina's defense is, they might be first after this week.
It's very possible. Let him rack up 10 sacks. All right, Shane, who do you have?
Jimmy Garoppolo. What?
Nothing.
What I miss?
Nothing. Go ahead. Tell us your explanation.
Atlanta's bad. They give up a lot of passing yards. Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't been especially bad. He went 2 touchdowns last week with no interceptions. So I'm going to go with Jimmy. Also, I don't really like a lot of the options, and I wasn't going to pick Matt Stafford and his Tommy John needing surgery ass anyway.
All right, I'll go ahead and start out with running back. God, man, did I want to take Eno Benjamin in this? Kenneth Walker.
I already
like
did.
Teeth. I wanted to. I didn't do it, but I
You're
ended
a
up
coward.
going.
Coward.
No, I'm not a coward.
You are.
Coward.
You're a coward. You're a
I'm
coward.
going with J.K. Dobbins, baby. The Giants.
He's bowing to my guy that I picked last week and wanted to talk about. So he's like, you know what? I'm doing it this week.
No, I love. Yeah. Oh, that's right. But I mean, J.K. Dobbins didn't do anything last week because he's still in a snap count. Is what
you're going to get him
saying.
Talking about him.
It is so bizarre how they're handling J.K. Dobbins, right? Because he just talked about Stafford comes in the press conference like, oh, why didn't you play J.K. Dobbins in the last 2 drives or 2 of the last 3 drives of the game?
Right.
He was lighting it up. He's like, oh, he did great. He was breaking tackles. There was one time where he got hit 5 yards in the backfield and turned it into 5 positive yards. He's literally making everybody miss, and the people that he doesn't make miss, he's breaking these tackles and gaining yards or pushing the pile. But we're still having him on a snap count right now because we're still concerned. It's like, dude, I understand the concern, but this is the week that J.K. Dobbins sheds these chains, sheds the stipulation
the
of
Daenerys Targaryen coming to Baltimore.
Yes, it
breaker
is
of chains.
It is the breaker of chains is coming to town, and J.K. Dobbins is going to demolish J.K. Dobbins. He is the 4th best juke rate so far by playerprofiler.com, and he has 140 elusive rating last week by PFF.
Elusive.
That's like, I don't even know if they have a higher rating. Like, that is the highest he can get. I mean, J.K. Dobbins, it's his time to shine. He's ready to take on the role, and if you didn't draft J.K. Dobbins, you're gonna be sorry.
Well, this is so exciting. I can't even believe I get the chance to do this. Obviously, maybe James Conner plays, but I'm reading the tea leaves, and they signed 2 running backs. Now, granted, Jonathan Ward is on IR, but he's not really a running back. He's more just a special teams player for them anyway. Darrell Williams is out probably 2 to 4 weeks, so maybe they would have signed all these guys anyhow. But we know Arizona, when they say day-to-day, usually that's more week to week. I think it's time for James Conner, as 17,000 different injuries going on at once at all times, to just take one seat on the pine. And my guy, Brian Eno Benjamin, Chase's favorite player, my favorite player, our boy, gets a freaking lights-out matchup against the Seattle Seabags this week. He's going to crush these fools. Pumped. Minimum 15 carries, minimum 6 catches, minimum 100 total yards, 2 touchdowns. It's Eno SZN. Let's go.
Eno season, baby. Let's go. Woo! I'm down. Let's go.
Let's do this. Let's go,
Eno.
Let's go.
Eno. Is Dave still in the chat? I hope he heard that. Eno.
Our Friday episode, if James Conner ruled out, is going to be unhinged. Like if James Conner gets the Friday rule out, and we go live on Friday with Eno Chalk Week, it's going to be like, so can you play the Eno Chalk at 30%? And you're like, yeah, sure can.
There are so many players that like fantasy gamers like get mad about, like, oh, how this player goes so late in the draft? Oh, how is this player not getting touches? Like Eno Benjamin is the most mistreated person in the entire NFL. He has done wrong on a weekly basis when he's not the starter of his NFL team. Truly. When he got underdrafted, it was a mess. When he didn't become the starting running back, it was a mess. When he got put on the practice squad for like a week or 2, it was a mess. And then this season, you have an injury-prone.
Eno.
All right, Shane, who do you have?
I still have more Eno stats.
I'm sorry.
I was ready to rock. Like Eno Benjamin, he's been awesome this year. Number 7 in PFF rush grade. Number 11 in juke rate. Number 2 in yards created per touch. Guy's just a phenomenal talent. James Conner.
I need to go to the bathroom real quick.
Let's do this.
I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
I'm gonna go with
Walmart in your house.
I'm gonna go with Travis Etienne. And this is based off logic, not just
the poor man Eno Benjamin.
Whatever.
You can't do that.
Whatever the hell. Why? Did you have him? Is he on the show sheet?
And on the show sheet.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. So Travis Etienne. Hey, Jay, if you haven't been shamed,
I just got shamed.
All right. You know what? Let's go with this. I'm going to go with Tony Pollard.
He wasn't going to take Eno, that's for sure.
I'm going to go with Tony Pollard. He's slowly taking over Zeke's job, very slowly. He's more efficient. I think, Yeah, I think Dallas is going to be in a beautiful position of being down by about 14 in the second half, and I expect Pollard to see a good amount of targets. And if it's a PPR league, which is all we play in, because we're not 1,000 years old, although I am 100 years old, he should have a nice game. And also, I wanted to take Travis Etienne, but I couldn't because someone else did.
That's right.
Shane, read the damn show sheet. It's literally in our group chat. Just click on it. All right.
Now he's got me all confused on who I got now.
You have Etienne
on the show sheet. He takes him and then takes Pollard. If I didn't get Etienne, I'd have taken Pollard. So I guess Shane and I are on the same page here, at least when it comes to these running backs. But Etienne's snap share is going. It's starting on the rise. His rushing and his receiving usage, both of them on the rise. In the Indy game, they've given up over 100 yards just this past Thursday to Gordon and Boone. I think Boone had like 94, 74, somewhere in that range. Anyway, they're giving up a ton of yardage on the ground. I think Etienne is in for a big
all
game.
your picks just making fun of the Colts. Like, do you have no heart?
Oh no, I thought about that because I was like, this is really gonna piss off, Jacob. So I was like, you know what, I'll go. I'm not taking any Colts for sure, but I won't pick Colts in the last two.
What's next? Zay Jones? I mean, like Dan Arnold.
No, I was thinking Dan Arnold for tight end because what the hell else we pick?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead, Jacob, and take your wide receiver.
My wide receiver is Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson has 24% of the targets from Kenny Pickett. He's Deontay Johnson, so he tends to turn those into about 5 yards per target, and just excruciating. But if he's going to continue to get targets, Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have to pass a lot this week. Tampa Bay, basically since they got their 3 healthy wide receivers back, has transformed back into the 2021-2020 Bucs, where they just pass on first down, they pass on second down, they pass on third down, they pass from ahead, they pass from behind, they pass on a train, they pass in the lane. They do whatever. In the rain, they pass in the train, they pass in the rain. There you go. Anyway, I was never a big fan of Green Eggs and Ham. But Tom Brady's going to be slinging it, and they're going to be playing fast, and that means that the Steelers are going to have to do the same. Nausea Harris is a broken, sad hunk of crap, so they can't establish the run whatsoever. And so they're going to have to throw, and that means Deontay Johnson going to have like 12 targets. Does that mean it's probably going to be 5 catches for 50 yards and no touchdown? Yeah. But maybe he'll actually catch a couple this week, and maybe he'll even score. I think he's allowed to do that by contract. And then maybe we'll even get a top 12 performance, hoping for it.
Well, Jason, you have a guy that's not allowed to score according to his contract, so let's go ahead and go with him.
It is 100% against his contract. If he scores, he actually pays the NFL and the Patriots money, and that's Jacoby Myers. He's clearly the number one. Catching the ball, not going into the end zone. That's not allowed. If you go in the end zone, you have to pay back money. But he's playing, 80% of the snap share in 3 games that him and Parker have played together. Parker has done in week 1 and week 2. Week 1, 100% snap share, one catch, 1 catch on 2 targets. Week 2, 76% snap share, 0 catches on 2 targets. Those same 2 weeks, Jacoby Myers was 88% target share, or 88% snap share, 82% snap share, 4 for 6, and 9 for 13. This past week alone, what's his name? That guy? Yeah, that one is 52%, and Jacoby Myers was 80%, 7 of 8. Oh, and he had to pay back some money this week because he did get in the end zone. Jacoby Myers this week. He's probably going to pay back. He's going to pay back some money this week too.
I love it. I was going to pick Jacoby until I saw that you did, but unlike Shane, I respect. I did.
I'm going on the other side of the ball.
I looked at the show sheet and I was like, "Oh, Jay already picked this guy, so I'll let him have it." I'm a nice guy,
and it wasn't an indie guy, so you were definitely cool.
All right, so I'm going to go with Amari Cooper over there on the other side of the ball. Patriots haven't been up against wide receivers.
Samari
They haven't
Cocker.
played anybody. Samari Cocker is who I'm taking, dubbed by Shane, of course.
Yeah.
Samari Cocker is actually really good with the ball in his hands. He's very good at getting open. But the reality is, like, Jacoby Brissett loves this guy. He's targeting whenever he has to pass. He's earning that target share, but also he's like, they never think that the Cleveland Browns are ever going to run it, like the opposing defenses. So whenever Samari Cocker gets the ball, he's pretty much just in one-on-one coverage on the outside. So he's able to do things he was never able to do in Dallas. Because in Dallas, yeah, sure, he was cucked a little bit by different players, but Samari Cocker, like, there's no other options on the Browns outside of Samari Cocker. So I'm going Samari Cocker 100% this week. I'm all in on Samari Cocker getting his own.
I'm going in and I'm changing the name right now. It's Cocker.
I mean, I'll just say this.
That's Amari Cocker.
This whole thing.
I know. I'll just say this. Look, when I say things, right, I don't know that I realize how fucking offensive they are sometimes until I hear them spewed back at me. And it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Wait, that was
why?
spewed back at you? How many times was that spewed back at you? Hey, we're not live on Twitter right now, so it's okay.
At least 4.
There's a lot of spewing. I'm going to go with...
Oh, wait. That's happening.
I just got broken.
What is spewing?
I don't know what's up with you guys. You guys are silly. I'm going to go with Gabe Davis because if anyone knows me, they know I'm all about the fun, and I just love the fun. And I just want to bet on a player for no obvious reason with no supporting facts, just because, and have it hit for once. So I'm going with Gabe Davis because he seems to be like the guy. He have 13% target share. He have 3 targets a game, but 2 of them are going to be touchdowns. The shortest is going to be 75 yards or whatever the fuck it was. I'm just going to have fun with it, live with it, and I'm going to see what it's like to be a Gabe Davis truther for 1 week.
It's pretty fun, man.
Yeah, and then look, when inevitably when he fails this week, right, I'll find an excuse for him, just like Gabe Davis truthers do every other week. But anywho.
But you can just go look on Twitter for those excuses.
Oh, yeah, no, they're ready-made.
No excuses today, baby. 30-point a week. It was pretty delicious.
Oh,
all right.
He was spewing fantasy points all over the field.
Jacob, give us your tight end.
My tight end is Taysom Hill.
You're chasing points.
You made it that?
Yeah, I am. I'm chasing the points. Exactly. That's fine.
I'm going Will Disley.
Ain't spewing, I'm chasing.
It's Will
Disley. I'm going Will Disley. I'm going Will Disley. Geno Smith loves his tight ends in the red zone. We've seen it all year. Great matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. I think Will Disley is like the fun play, and it's great for DFS too.
Hey, it's Cole Kmet time. Let's go now. Thursday night. Oh, it's never mind. No, let's Cole Kmet. We've all picked bad. This is the second time I've picked him. So second time's a charm. Let's go, Cole Kmet. Justin Fields. We're playing against Washington. Oh yeah, Washington doesn't allow any points to tight ends either. So
what are you doing?
I'm just trying to hold in.
Preventing the outbreak of COVID-19.
Yeah. There's so much spewing going on. I just got to cover my face.
Oh, what time is it? Yep. Okay. All right. Got it.
Thanks,
all right.
Mike.
Oh God, there's a ball.
So it's my turn, and look, tight end is just who fucking knows. So I'm just gonna go with the tradition. Evan Ingram has to be picked by someone on this show every week, right? So I'm going Evan Ingram.
Is he not
we've got it right once.
He can't be not in the top 15 this week, is he?
Right. So just it's a tradition. Not. It is a tradition at this point. We all need to, everyone takes the bullet at some point or another, and I'm taking it with Evan Ingram this week. It's my turn.
All right, so we do have a bunch of start-sit questions that we never got to because we spent so much time bullshitting throughout this episode today.
We spewed.
Shane, do you want to stick around for a few of them?
Sure.
All right, Jacob, I know you got to go, right?
You got to run.
All right, let us know where to find you, Jacob.
You can find me on Twitter, FF_RTDB. You can find me in the Bulletproof Discord. You can find me in the Full Tilt Discord. You can find my written content on playerprofiler.com, including Week 6's Hitchhiker's Guide to Running Back. And you can find me on Sweat and Bullets podcast, Full Tilt Dynasty podcast, this podcast, and on Friday, of course, for the big tilt.
All right, Jacob. Appreciate you coming in, man. I'll talk to you
Have
on
a good one.
Friday.
Eno
season, let's go.
Have fun in ethics.
All right. So Jeb asks, hey guys, I'm being offered Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, and Gabe Davis for Jonathan Taylor. My other RBs are Barkley and Hall. My other wide receivers are Godwin and Sutton. So are you making this move to acquire pretty much Gabe Davis while downgrading the wide receiver because you already have Barkley and Hall? That's where I'm assuming Jeb is coming from. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeb, in the chat.
No, you need a better receiver for this. Like if you're getting, because that's kind of
that was your top 10 pick, by the way, Shane.
Wow.
Gabe Davis.
Okay. So you need a better receiver than this, than Gabe Davis. Look, no, I like Gabe Davis and I've said this a couple times since his big game over the weekend. He's excellent as your last flex. You know what I mean? Because you're like, look, this dude could give me 0, he could give me 3, or he could give me 40, and I can live with all of those. But I think you got to get a better wide receiver back. Don't break up Jonathan Taylor into 3 small baby pieces.
All right. Do you have a different take on that, Jeb? Because I honestly would never make that trade.
Nope, not taking that trade at all.
All right, rest of the season, Breece Hall or Kamara? For me, it's Breece Hall, not even relatively close.
Breece.
Yeah, Breece, baby.
DJ Moore or Brian Robinson, PPR?
Here's the thing, man. Brian Robinson outsnapped Antonio Gibson last week.
I thought it was 33-29.
He outsnapped him. He had no targets, though. Antonio Gibson had 4. I can't. This is a bridge too far, though. I can't do this yet. I can't stick Brian Robinson in over DJ Moore just yet.
And I agree right there too. I mean, Brian Robinson had 29% snap share, nine carries for 22 yards. It's his first game in the NFL, and then after a horrific accident. So
that video that he played for his entrance song was epic. Did you guys see that?
How about the Commanders letting him come in by himself?
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
Commanders ended up playing Many Men from 50 Cent. And ended up if you guys haven't seen it, just look up the Brian Robinson intro video, or I'm sure if you put Brian Robinson intro video, it'd come up. But I mean, it is so sick. It's so cool. It's so inspirational. I absolutely love it. That was great. All right. I have Chase, AJ Brown, and Waddle. Is Waddle worrisome with the injury and the quarterback situation? Absolutely. I don't understand what the other 2 players have to do with that, but yes, 100%. All right. With Jacobs on a bye and Patterson on our pick 1, Michael Carter, Madison, and Pacheco. Dude, Michael Carter, those goal line vulture touches were so gross and pissed me off so bad for my Breece Hall shares in DFS. I don't even want to talk about this, but we have to because Yvonne is one of our favorite fans and he asked us a question, so we got to discuss it. So are we doing Michael Carter, Madison, or Pacheco this week?
Yeah, Michael Carter for 100% here. My opinion. I know Shane's going to have a different opinion because he's, he is the worst. But I'm taking Michael Carter because still sitting behind Dalvin Cook, and Pacheco is still number 2, at least for right now.
I don't know if he is number 2.
That's the thing. Jarek McKinnon outsnapped him in CEH last week.
Yeah, we never know what's going to happen with this backfield.
Pacheco's number 3 then. So it's Michael Carter.
Yeah, look, you're going to have to play Michael Carter.
Pacheco played 1 snap last week.
There you go. Madison definitely got sprinkled in more, right? Because Dalvin Cook played a really low share. I remember that snap share last week. But I'm probably going to go with Carter and literally on the basis of he's probably going to vulture another goddamn touchdown from Breece Hall.
Fucking hate that.
Jerk off.
Yeah, I'll sit with you guys on Michael Carter, but I don't hate Madison. It's a shitty situation over there for you, Yvonne. I would go try to make a trade and try to pick up one of these back end running backs like an Eno Benjamin. All right.
Slide that card.
Oh, of course. I have to every single time. All right. We have Nausea Harris. Do we think Nausea Harris is going to be any better, or is it just done? Because I haven't been on Nausea Harris the entire season. I don't want anything to do with him.
I didn't like him last year when he was a volume dependent. He was too volume dependent, and he was too dependent upon empty calorie targets. Which it's great you're getting those targets, right? But eventually the team realizes you suck with this. This isn't a good option for us. when you don't do anything with those targets. Like you catch the ball and get 3 yards, and they're like, all right, this isn't really helping us. He lost a ton of work to Jaylen Warren. He's a guy that needs his opportunity.
Warren looks so good.
Yeah. He's a guy that needs his opportunity share to be like 80-something% for him to hit for you, and it's not. So I'm not at all trusting him again at any point.
Yeah,
all right, we have
earlier in the year that I'm not trusting anybody in that Pittsburgh offense right now.
All right, we have Isaiah McKenzie, Jameson Williams. Are they good pickups? If you tuned into the first part of our show, we talked a little bit about Jameson Williams in depth. So I'd recommend after the show ends, go back and check that out. But we do like those pickups to an extent. Jameson Williams, if in deeper leagues. All right, drop A-Rob for Odell. And actually, this is one of my favorite questions of the night, I think. If this is my favorite question, I really don't know what is.
This might be Shane's favorite commenter, XXX Lex.
If it said Facebook user afterwards, it probably would be. But I actually probably would do that. I mean, Odell's projected to come back in week 8, week 10?
Yeah, I would do that. I mean, I don't know if, you know,
it might be a little early, but
no, but I get that. So you're trying to get ahead of the curve, right? You want to pick up Odell now because, quite frankly, I don't think you're putting Allen Robinson in your starting lineup. So I'm fine with this. It's not like you're cutting a starter; you're cutting a guy that's on the bench.
Here's a dumb idea. I've had Odell on a roster for the whole year, just sitting there. I also have A-Rob on that roster as well. But Odell doesn't have a team right now.
Oh, he's coming back. He's going to come back to the Rams because they're going to be like, "Oh, sweet baby Jesus, we can't do this. This is awful."
Yeah, they're going.
I think he'll come. No, I think he's going to go back to the Chiefs.
I've heard Green Bay. I've heard Tampa's talking. I've heard a bunch of different teams have talked to him. So,
yep, we'll see what happens. All right, you traded away Saquon and Hurts for Tyreek Hill and CMC. I have Allen as my quarterback 1 and drafted Hurts in round 7. I'm short on receivers with Lazard, Juju, and Judy. I guess we're supposed to grade the trade.
You traded away Saquon and Hurts. Well, you weren't short on receivers with Saquon, and you got CMC. Wait, okay. So
I think we're grading the trade for Saquon and Hurts versus Tyreek Hill and CMC. Honestly, I feel like that's a solid trade in a single quarterback league. I would take that 100%.
Yeah, if you already have
quarterback league, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, if you have Allen and a 1 quarterback, that's fine.
All right, start 2. Kenneth Walker, Mostert, DJ Moore, Dubs, Eno Benjamin, AJ Dillon, Eno Benjamin, Kenneth Walker. For me, what do y'all say? It's Eno season. It's Eno season.
Yeah, I'm going Ken Walker, and assuming Mostert plays because he didn't practice today because, well, he's Mostert. I'd go with Mostert.
Yeah, I'm Ken Walker for sure, and I mean, it's all going to depend on who's playing on Sunday. That's going to be one of those Sunday mornings. Hit Chase up on the start sit
show every morning at 11:30 over there on youtube.com/fantasy intervention and fantasy football discussion. All right, we're going to do one more in-depth question. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and just do one-word answers from here on out for the most part. All right, what can I try to get for Najee? So, Shane, you're a trade correspondent. You do a lot of dynasty, though. So for redraft, at this point, what are we trying to get for Najee? Because I saw a package where it was like Gabriel Davis and Najee for Dalvin Cook. And the Dalvin Cook owner was like pissed off that he would send him such a lowball offer. And I'm like, it's like you had one good week from Dalvin Cook. But like, where are we lying over here with Najee? Like, what do you think you can get for him?
Look, I'll try to buy low on a wide receiver right now. I'm just talking dynasty because screw the redraft. But so what I'm trying to do with Najee, I'll try to buy low on someone that just had 2 bad games, Jalen Waddle, right? I love Jalen Waddle. So I'll be like, all right, let me see. Can I get him? Can I get that? It's got to be another player that someone's panicking on, but I believe is going to bounce back in a big way. The problem is trading Najee right now. You're selling him at his whatever his lowest peak is, his valley. Yeah. You have to hope that basically there's a game somewhere that he's just going to have, 10 targets for 20 yards and fall into the end zone again. And then it looks like he has a good game and then you can trade him. So I'd actually just hold on to him for now, unless I can get Waddle straight up for him. Higgins, who's hurt, something like that. Yeah,
it might have to be 2 games in a row too to see that. Like everybody's getting excited about Najee. Oh, do you have a different take on that, Jay? Or
No,
should we go to the one-word answers?
No, I agree 100%. But since you want to give me the mic, I'll talk for a second. No, I agree 100% with that because I think you do have to have that. You have to have that 25-point game from him in order to get the value that you want for him the rest of the year.
All right. Are we holding or trading Curtis Samuel right now? He's currently wide receiver 17. What's his trade value? And I think this is a great question from Jamie over there. Love Jamie, one of our oldest fans. So, Jamie, we are going to answer this question in depth, and then we'll get on to the following ones. But Curtis Samuel for me is a trade now because we don't know what this Washington roster is going to look like here in 3 to 4 weeks. They could start putting players on IR. They could start putting younger guys in. De'Ami Brown looked great this past week. Cam Sims has done things for Washington whenever time's running out. Meanwhile, we have Taylor Heinicke, who likes to run the ball. That could take away from Curtis Samuel's value. I want to get rid of Curtis Samuel as fast as I possibly can. I want to deal him out. And his value right now is probably right around, if you're trying, I don't ever do wide receiver for wide receiver. I try to do wide receiver for tight end, wide receiver for running back, wide receiver for quarterback. So his value right now is probably right around a second string running back who has the potential to become a primary running back, but still has independent value. We're looking at Kenneth Gainwell's, but probably a little bit over that of the world, maybe in Alexander Madison, but probably more than that as well. Where do you guys see it? Eno Benjamin is probably a good one because
I was going to ask you, would you trade Eno? Would you trade Curtis Samuel for?
I would take Eno Benjamin personally.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's time to you have to go ahead because he's had injuries in the past as well.
Yep.
And with it being, you're not going to have Logan Thomas. You're not going to have Dotson this week. Curtis Samuel is going to be the primary focus. I mean, you got McLaurin, but McLaurin's seeing his 10 targets and still not doing anything with them. So I think now is if you can get rid of him, now is the time to go get rid of him. But I agree with you. You're looking at probably a high-end backup, whether it's an Eno Benjamin, it's I don't even know if you can go and get a Kenneth Walker with him, but that would be a nice little piece if you could do that.
Joshua Kelly, Shane? Joshua Kelly?
No.
Where do you value Curtis Samuel?
The wide receiver or the running back?
Josh Palmer, you mean?
Oh, yeah, it is Palmer. It is.
Yeah,
Palmer.
but I won't want him either. I don't want any Joshuas. Joshua Tree, Josh Palmer, Josh Downs. Well, no, I would take Josh Downs, but unfortunately, that's a class next year. Anyway, I'm probably going to just ride the Samuel train off into the sunset. Look, it's 5 games. He's the number 1 target in Washington, unless I'm missing something. Jahan Dotson still are hurt. Terry McLaurin does not look particularly good. Carson Wentz is particularly not good, but he seems to lock onto a guy, and Curtis Samuel seems to be his guy.
All right, let's go ahead and hop on to Geno Smith or Joe Burrow.
No.
Neither?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
He was thinking Walmart back parking lot.
Sorry.
Geno Smith.
Yep. Starting Geno.
All right.
Top 12 quarterback.
Cameron Assay, guys, in a 16-team full PPR league. This week I've got 7 out of 16 waiver priority. Should I drop KJ Osborne for Jahan Dotson or drop Jahan Dotson's a good pickup, by the way, or drop Daniel Jones for Goff? I like to make both moves. I wouldn't drop Daniel Jones for Goff. I think the Giants are just starting to run their offense. They don't have any wide receivers. We're going to see Kadarius Toney possibly make it back on the roster. We're going to see the other rookie. Help me out.
You said this word answer.
Yes, this one's. What's the other rookie over there for the Giants right now? The slot wide receiver out of Alabama, Mechie.
No, Mechie's in Houston and he's not playing.
Who's the other slot receiver right now? I'm having a brain fart. Sorry.
Ricky
Anyways,
James.
No, the rookie wide receiver. He should come back. Anyways, I would not drop Daniel Jones for Goff. I would drop KJ Osborne for Jahan Dotson in a heartbeat.
Agreed.
All right. Thanks, Shane, for your input. Let's go ahead and say...
I'm going to say good night, and I love you all. And
we got like 5 questions left.
Dude, that's a lot of questions. I got shit to do.
It's only a one-word answer.
Alec Pierce or Miles Sanders? Full
Miles
PPR.
Sanders.
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders, 100%. He's RB 13 on the season. Trade Eckler for Taylor.
Yes.
Agreed.
100%. All right. Would you drop Zeke for Kenneth Walker
Yes.
or Ramondre Stevenson?
Yes.
Walker.
Wow. I can't believe that you have to drop Zeke.
And drop someone else to pick up Ramondre Stevenson. Go pick both of them up.
All right. Should I trade away Deebo Samuel?
Depends on what you get.
Yeah, that's such an open-ended question. George Pickens.
Shane is so fucking over this. All right. Hey, I'm 0-5 with Herbie Cook, Aaron Jones, Amon St. yada. I also have Kenneth Walker, Jacobs, and Hawkinson. Who should he trade for? Is there anybody off the top of your head who he should go after? Because
This is Dynasty.
talk about an open-ended question. No, it's not Dynasty.
Super open-ended. Not knowing what's out there, not knowing. I mean, Herbie Cook, Aaron. Golly, that's a lot.
It's a redraft, right? So what you want to do is, and this is showing short rosters on Dynasty too. You want to trade a couple of these players for one better player. You want to trade Aaron Jones and Dalvin Cook. Can you trade them for a top 10 wide receiver? Can you trade both those guys for a top 8 running back? You want to combine things. You're not moving Amon-Ra, Jamar, or Andrews. Jamar's having a quiet year. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I try to target maybe Cook after a big week and try to upgrade to maybe a Jonathan Taylor or something like that along with Josh Jacobs. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. Shane, where can we find you?
Dynasty Trades HQ podcast on the podcast places. Dynasty Trades in 5 on the YouTube. Go subscribe. Fantasy Data, NFL writing stuff, and then DLF, who I haven't actually had a chance to write an article for in some time. But hey, you can find me all those places, and Twitter at Shane is the worst.
By the way, Mark, what we're saying is you got to hold for now for Deebo. He's too low of value right now, and all he has to do is string together a few games. And once it comes to crunch time for the 49ers, like they're going to utilize him. All right, Jay, where can we find you?
You find me on Twitter at FantasyJ77. You can find me over there at Going for Two. And you can find me in the Discord at Going for Two. I also contribute to the collaboration article that we do on Tuesday mornings that come out on goingfor2.com for the waiver wire. Don't do it all the time, but I enjoy doing it every now and again. So keep checking that out, and I'll be writing on there. You'll find me here on Wednesday nights, and you'll find me tomorrow night, every Thursday night, on the Going for Two network with the Dynasty Gambit, 7:00 pregame before every Thursday night game. Oh, and by the way, Shane, Atlanta 1-0 right now.
All right, go check out all of our stuff over there on youtube.com/fantasy intervention. Big shout out to Fantasy Football Discussion. Love you guys. Tune in next week, and make sure y'all check out our waiver wire show 11:30 on Sunday mornings Eastern time, where we actually answer your starter set questions. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you all for letting us intervene with your fantasy football life. We're out of here.